The $62,000 crystal chandelier was destroyed, but it was the best money I ever spent. Why? Because lying in that wreckage was my family's certainty that I was nothing, about to collapse under its own weight. They had turned my birthday into a setup, but I turned it into a reckoning. Glass scattered across imported marble, catching the light like sharp stars. 5 seconds. That's all it took. 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night. I wasn't supposed to be here. That was clear from the valet's pause, from the way the house glowed with activity, yet somehow felt sealed shut against me. Every year was the same. Lavish parties for my brother, milestones invented if necessary, champagne towers, live music, guests who never remembered my name. And every year, my birthday passed with a polite text hours later. We'll make it up to you. Tonight, they had remembered me just enough to need me. I stop outside my father's study. The door is old. Sound travels. I lean closer. $20 million in gambling losses, my father says, voice tight with irritation. That's the real number, not what the statements show. My mother exhales, not shocked, annoyed. Then we can't delay. The banks are already circling. A chair scrapes. My brother laughs softly the way he does when he thinks he's clever. Relax, she's too stupid to read fine print. She'll sign anything. The words land cleanly, practiced, rehearsed. My chest tightens, not with surprise, with recognition. I've heard this version of myself my entire life. Too quiet, too agreeable, playing with computers, no real job. The daughter who didn't demand attention, so they stopped giving it. The one they forgot while they remembered everything about him. I lean closer. The door is old. Sound travels. We'll frame it as trust restructuring, property consolidation. The cottage transfer will distract her. The $850,000 lake cottage? My brother asks. Yes, she's sentimental about that place. My father snorts. She'll sign anything for family approval. Silence follows. Heavy, calculating. Something shifts inside me. Something cold and clean and sharp. They think I'm weak. I'm actually the founder and CEO of Larkspur Technologies, Inc. Revenue $40 million per quarter, has been for 4 years. Never told a soul, not out of fear, out of discipline. Power works best when it's underestimated. I step back before the floorboard creaks. The chandelier above the hall hums faintly, old wiring vibrating. I take 2 steady breaths. My hands are calm. My mind is clearer than it's ever been. My phone vibrates once. Ethan Cole, my CFO, my ally for 3 years, knows exactly who I am, never told a soul. They sent the preliminary draft, his message reads. It's not what they're claiming. I don't reply yet. From inside the study, my brother speaks again. She's been desperate to belong forever. This is easy. That does it. I walk away quietly, past the catered desserts I wasn't meant to touch, past the guests who don't notice me. Outside, the night air is sharp and clean. I sit in my car with the engine off and finally look at Ethan's forwarded document. 23 pages. Professional formatting, gentle language, poison wrapped in silk. Buried inside is the transfer of liability, $20 million shifted neatly into my name, and deeper still, clauses designed to erase my residual claims to family assets I'd protected years ago through layered holding companies. Total exposure, if signed, $504 million. They didn't just want my signature, they wanted my future. My phone rings. My mother's name lights the screen. I let it ring out. Then my father texts, "Come back inside, we need to talk." I start the engine. As I drive, pieces align with unnerving precision. The sudden warmth, the mention of the cottage, the timing, one day after my birthday, when guilt makes people compliant. They hadn't forgotten me. They had remembered me as a tool. My phone buzzes again. Ethan. Do you want to stop this? He asks, calmly. No, I say. My voice sounds different, lower, colder. I want to finish it. A pause, then I'll start restructuring. I'll handle the performance, I reply. I pull onto the highway, city lights stretching ahead like a circuit board. I'm not angry. Anger is sloppy. I feel something better. Clarity. I'd been planning this for 7 months. I just didn't know it yet. Back at my apartment, I pour a glass of water and sit at my desk. The chandelier's crash echoes faintly in my memory. The moment illusion shattered into glittering pieces. I text Ethan one word. Send. Somewhere behind me, a future version of this night locks into place. Documents signed, rooms full of witnesses, silence crashing. In 24 hours, they'll realize how wrong they've been. 3 monitors glow in the dark, painting my apartment in cold blue light. The city outside is asleep. I like it that way. Fewer variables, fewer interruptions. This is the hour when systems reveal themselves, when lies don't have witnesses to hide behind. Monitor 1 holds the family structure, not the version they show at charity dinners, but the real one. Shell companies nested inside trusts, trusts feeding holding entities, all ultimately controlled by signatures they assumed I'd never challenge. I'd mapped it months ago, quietly, methodically. Total interconnected value, $504 million. Every number verified twice. Monitor 2 is social media. At 2:41 a.m., my brother posts again, a photo from the party earlier that night. He's holding a glass of champagne, smiling like someone who has never been denied anything. Caption: Some people play with computers, real adults build legacies. The comments are immediate. Lol, savage. Tell her to get a real job. Family genius right there. I don't react. I screenshot. Timestamp visible. Evidence folder updated. Monitor 3 is the document. 23 pages. Cream-colored digital paper. Soft language. Words like streamlining, alignment, family unity. They assume tone replaces substance. It always has for them. Ethan appears on my screen via secure call. Calm, precise. If they sign this, the waiver is absolute. I say, show me again. He scrolls, stops. Page 7, paragraph 3. There it is. A dense block of text no one skimming would ever slow down for. Legal phrasing tightened like a knot. In exchange for a nominal property transfer, the $850,000 lake cottage, the signatory relinquishes all present and future claims to shared assets, voting rights, derivative interests, and litigation authority, retroactive, irrevocable. They think it's trust fund housekeeping. It's a full exit, clean. Good, I reply. I want it clean. By 3:05 a.m., the final draft is locked, metadata scrubbed, language balanced just enough to avoid suspicion. I approve it with a biometric signature they won't notice. By 3:17 a.m., the courier is scheduled. I lean back and finally allow myself one slow breath. At 8:12 a.m., my mother calls. Her voice is gentle, rehearsed. Sweetheart, we were thinking about last night. We hate that we forgot your birthday. Forgot. The word is almost impressive in its commitment to fiction. At 10:30, can you come by? Just paperwork. We want to make sure you're taken care of. I let silence stretch just long enough to make her nervous. Then I soften my tone. I just want us to be okay again. At 9:04 a.m., my father texts, "This fixes everything." At 11:22 a.m., my brother posts a story, a cropped screenshot of my old LinkedIn profile. Caption, "Playing with computers." No tag. He wants plausible deniability. I save it. 1:50 p.m. I arrive at my parents' house. I play my role carefully. Shoulders slightly rounded, eyes uncertain, hands clasped too tightly. The version of me they believe in, the one they trained. My father slides the document across the table. Standard stuff, he says. Sign the document. The pen feels heavier than it should. I let my hand tremble, let my breath hitch. This means we're good after this? My mother reaches for my arm. Of course, honey. My brother doesn't bother hiding his smile. 3:47 p.m., 18 minutes until the courier deadline. I sign. 5 seconds. That's all it took. The moment the pen lifts, something inside me clicks into place. The fear evaporates. The uncertainty drains away. The tears I'd summoned vanish, just gone, like turning off a faucet. They don't notice the change. They walk me to the door, relieved, lighter. My father claps my shoulder. See, that wasn't so hard. Outside, the air feels different, sharper, honest. At 4:06,
the garden is a controlled illusion of perfection. 214 guests, exactly counted by the catering contract. Crystal chandeliers hang from temporary trusses, scattering light across ivory silk tablecloths and polished glassware. White roses line the pathways, flown in that morning. A string quartet plays something expensive and forgettable. This is my brother's world, curated, performative, loud. And once again, my birthday is nowhere in sight. I arrive at 7:11 p.m., wearing a simple black dress. Not understated, precise. The kind of outfit that doesn't compete for attention because it doesn't need to. Conversations stall as I pass. People recognize me as the other one, the quiet daughter, the afterthought. My brother is already holding court near the center fountain, drink in hand, laughter practiced. My parents stand beside him, relaxed for the first time in weeks. They think the crisis is over. They think I signed away the problem. At 7:16 p.m., my father taps his glass with a spoon. The sound carries. "Thank you all for being here," he says, smiling broadly. "Family is everything, and tonight we celebrate unity, success, and the future." Polite applause ripples through the crowd. False triumph. I almost admire the confidence. At 7:18 p.m., the screens mounted near the bar flicker. Once. Twice. Then every display in the garden changes at the same time. Silence crashes. Bloomberg terminals erupt across phones and tablets as alerts hit. Stock tickers flash. Notifications stack faster than they can be cleared. I hear the sound before I see the reactions. Sharp intakes of breath. The clatter of glassware as hands lose grip. My brother's smile freezes. A man steps forward from the edge of the garden, calm, authoritative. Jonathan Reeves, senior partner at Reeves and Holloway LLP. He holds a leather folder. I apologize for the interruption. My father frowns. What is this? Reeves doesn't look at him. His gaze is fixed on me. "I'd like to introduce," he says clearly, "the founder and chief executive officer of Larkspur Technologies, Inc." A murmur ripples through the guests. Quarterly revenue, $40 million, sustained for 4 consecutive years. Every head turns. Me. My brother's mouth opens, closes. No sound comes out. My mother's face drains of color. Reeves flips a page. Earlier this afternoon, a legal separation and asset waiver agreement was executed. My father steps forward. That document was internal family business. Yes, Reeves agrees, and it was very thorough. He pauses deliberately. Page 7, paragraph 3. I take one step forward. My heels click softly against stone. My voice, when I speak, is steady, different, lower, colder. Page 7, paragraph 3, I say. Would you like me to read it? My father stares at me. What did you do? Reeves answers for me.
In exchange for nominal property consideration, the signatory relinquished all present and future claims to shared family assets. He lets the words sink in. Total value forfeited, he continues evenly, $504 million. A gasp breaks the silence. Calculation, Reeves adds, turning a page, 12 million shares times $42 per share equals $504 million. My brother stumbles backward, colliding with a chair. That's impossible. She's too stupid to... I cut him off. This conversation is over. Security moves in, smooth and immediate. Ethan stands near the garden exit, hands folded, watching everything. Always watching. Phones are raised now. Someone has started an Instagram live stream. I glance at the screen count as it ticks upward. 15,000 viewers. Audio crystal clear. My mother reaches for me. I step back. My father's voice cracks. We can fix this. No, I reply calmly. You can live with it. I turn to the guests. Faces pale, mouths slightly open. No one speaks. Enjoy the party, I say lightly. Last thing I'm paying for. I walk away as the first wave of applause breaks behind me. Not thunderous, not forced. Measured. Respectful. Final. I don't look back. By the time I reach the gate, the illusion has shattered completely. 3 days later, the story is everywhere. Not gossip pages, not whispers. Front page business sections, legal journals, finance podcasts replaying the clip frame by frame. The headline settles into a single, brutal narrative. Forgotten daughter executes $504 million legal reversal. The video circulates faster than any explanation could. My brother's face mid-collapse. My father frozen, calculating too late. My voice steady, controlled, cutting through the noise. This conversation is over. The first call comes at 6:12 a.m. I don't answer. The second at 6:14, then texts, emails, voicemails stacking like debris. We need to talk. This has gone too far. You've made your point. Delete, block, change number. At 9:03 a.m., a courier delivers a certified letter to the $850,000 lake cottage. Not sentimental, administrative. Ownership transfer executed. Vacation notice attached. 30 days. Clean. At 11:40 a.m., my brother posts for the first time since the gala. A black screen. White text. Family matters should stay private. Comments are disabled within minutes. Too late. At 1:22 p.m., my father's law firm quietly removes his name from their website. No announcement, just absence. By 4 p.m., the banks move. Lines of credit freeze. Accounts flagged. The $20 million hole he tried to bury surfaces exactly where it belongs. Not my problem. Never was. That night, I sleep without checking my phone. On the morning of the fourth day, I arrive at Larkspur Technologies headquarters at 8:57 a.m. The building is all glass and steel, sharp lines against a clear sky. Familiar. Grounding. The elevator doors open to the atrium. They're waiting. Hundreds of employees line the balconies and floor below. Not staged, not instructed. Someone starts clapping, then another. The sound builds, rising upward, filling the space with something solid and undeniable. Recognition. I nod once. No speech, no gesture. I don't need to perform power. I own it. At 9:15 a.m., Ethan joins me in the executive conference room. He places a slim folder on the table. All asset transfers finalized. No outstanding challenges. Expected, I say. He hesitates. They've retained outside counsel. Let them, I reply. Page 7, paragraph 3. He smiles faintly. Already tried, already failed.
At 10:30 a.m., I authorize the final consolidation. Voting rights secured, holdings unified. Future locked. One word leaves my mouth. Done. By afternoon, the noise fades into distance. The calls slow. The messages stop. People adjust to the new reality. They always do. At 6:48 p.m., I stand alone in my office. City lights spreading below like a living circuit. The chandelier from my parents' house flashes through my mind again. Glass falling, light breaking, illusion shattering. 5 seconds. That's all it took. I think about birthdays, about absence, about how being forgotten taught me how to observe instead of react, how silence taught me precision. I send one final message, not to them, to myself. Forward. The future doesn't wait, and for the first time, it belongs entirely to me.